Okay, guys, it's good to be back on, and I have Ben as always.
You have
So,
99.97% of Ben because
oh, all right, Ben. So sorry about that. We're going to be discussing some key matches this week. We should start with Man City, Newcastle. What do you see happening? Currently, Man City are chasing Arsenal to see if they can actually defend their title. And Newcastle, the couple of weeks have not been good for them. They lost out to Manchester United in the Carabao. Pope has not been available. And they are gradually drifting out of top four. So it's going to be a very tough match. What can you say about that game?
um, I think Newcastle's stint's over, isn't it? I think they had a good period where they got into top four. I think that period's over now. Because we're in the business end of the Premier League now. So yeah, I mean, I can't see anything other than a City win on that one. What I've seen from Newcastle of late is they've kind of lost that intensity. A few of their players have dropped off form. Almiron. Um, so yeah, I don't see anything happening. But listen, who knows? You know, it's been a weird old season, so I'm not gonna. I've learned not to predict anything at the moment because you just end up looking silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you end up looking stupid. So, but yeah, I mean, if I had to put my money on it, I'd say Man City should comfortably win that. It's a City at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the end, yeah.
yeah. I can't see. Yeah,
But
City might.
presently, home advantage does not really count at the moment. Unlike then.
Um, well, it does for Newcastle because going to St James's Park's always going to be a challenge, isn't it? If it was at St James's Park, I probably wouldn't be as confident. Perhaps I don't know, but I probably still fancy City. But I just think we're in a. Do you know? It's like it doesn't matter who's in contention for winning the Premier League, who's top, who City will always be in that mix, season after season after season. I think in the last 7 seasons, their worst position, or last 9 seasons or something, their worst position was fourth. That's their worst position, you know. Whereas with Arsenal, we'd be happy with fourth. You know, we're sort of going for fourth, but yeah, City are always going to be resting on the shoulders of whoever's in contention. So you can never rule them out. You can never rule them out. You can never rule out Pep. And you know, this whole talk about Haaland's making the team weak. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. It's making the team different, but I don't think it's made it weak. How's that possible? He's already scored the most goals at this point in history in a Premier League, so I don't understand that logic.
So you're saying it's going to be a comfortable win for City?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I just don't. Newcastle at the moment, like you said, the last 2 or 3 fixtures, there's not been as convincing as they have been. I think Eddie Howe, his honeymoon period is over.
Okay, what is score prediction for that game?
We go 2-0. 2-0.
Oh, you think they can keep a clean sheet?
Yeah, I think they keep a clean sheet. I like I said, there's just a drop of form. You know, if Almiron can sort of find his shooting boots again, and Almiron's form's been very important to that team for me.
Yeah.
For creativity, goal scoring, everything, and he's just not been firing last couple of games. He just doesn't look like he's. I don't know. I think there's a monkey on the back at Newcastle, and I think they're all aware of it, and it's starting to affect
They've
them.
got a very great defense, and their keeper is one of the best. You know.
Yeah, I think 2-0, 2-0 City. Incidentally, as well, when I was talking about Haaland, Haaland has scored more goals than 8 Premier League teams combined this season. So there are 8 teams in the Premier League who have not scored as many goals as Haaland has scored this season, and he's making
Okay.
the team weak.
Well, you know now, so they've got the ball and everybody's attention is to pass it to Haaland. Unlike then, that anybody can virtually score for City. So it's actually a different ball game now.
The thing is, City did lose games before they had Haaland. It's like, oh, if Haaland doesn't score and City don't win, it's like Haaland's made us lose this game or made us draw this game or has made us drop points. That happened before they signed Haaland. But the problem is there was more others to blame for those for falling short in those games. There were other players you could blame rather than just centering it on one. And at the moment, it seems like everyone centers their blame on Haaland if Man City don't produce in a game. Like we all don't produce in certain games, it's not, but it's just because he's such a central focus point for the team. So it's easy just to jump on him, isn't it? And just say, well, we had goals coming in from all angles. We had goals coming from Sterling. We had goals coming from De Bruyne, Mahrez. They still got goals coming from other avenues, just not as much as it was before they signed Haaland. So I don't understand why he gets such an amazing player. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, true. So I guess your 2-0, the 2 goals should come from Haaland.
I'd give one to Haaland, possibly 2. I'll give one to Haaland. I don't know if Mahrez is going to play. He seems to be in form at the moment as well. You just never know with Pep roulette system. You don't know who's going to play. You don't know. Foden, is he going to play? It's like it's so frustrating. They're such a good side. But you really are playing with fire if you choose to buy any of their players for your fantasy football, because you just don't know who's going to play. I had Mahrez is on the bench. Why is he? I sold Foden for Mahrez, okay? Because Foden was scoring, couldn't get a game. Okay, get rid of him. I'll get Mahrez in. Mahrez comes in, scores goals. It's like with Pep. Don't score for Pep. Don't score for Pep because they'll put you on the bench. Because that's what he's done with Foden. Foden scored like 7 goals in his first 9 games. Put him on a bench. Mahrez, how many goals has he scored in the last 4 or 5 games? Put him on a bench. It doesn't make any sense. So I couldn't tell you who's going to score. We know Haaland's going to start. That's about it. Attacking wise, we know. I would even say we know De Bruyne is going to start, but that's not a guarantee anymore, is it? They left him out a couple of games ago. So you just don't know anymore. When Man City leave out De Bruyne, that's it. I'd give up.
It even becomes difficult for Haaland themselves whenever De Bruyne is not performing or is not in the game.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's tricky at City, but it's like it's a situation where they've got all the gems, they've got all the gold, they just don't know where to put it and how to present it. They've got what they need. It's just a little bit more fine tuning, I think. If they get that fine tuning right.
In fantasy football, I think the only City player I've got is Haaland, because the rest they're just so unpredictable stuff.
Yeah, I brought Mahrez in.
I can't take that risk when I have so many options.
I know. It works well if they play, but if they don't play, it's like that.
Yeah.
Waste of money, isn't it?
True.